Hey Scott, hey everyone else, welcome back to Four Running Shoes. So this week I went out for my first long run and it didn't quite go as planned. In fact, a lot of things about this week didn't go as planned, but you take the weeks as they come, I guess, with running. So I went out for my long run. I had been resting my legs from shin splints and they're finally feeling a bit better, so I went out for what was going to be a 28-kilometer run. And yeah, it was going really well. I was running at less than 5 minute pace, 4:45-ish, 4:50. And yeah, just feeling really good even up the hills. So yeah, I was pushing it a bit, listening to some nice music that was getting me going. And then around the 12K mark, just before the 12K mark, I was running along a road that I haven't run really before. Like, I know the road well, it's just I haven't run along it. And there's been a lot of roadworks there, and so they had the footpath closed at one point. And the ground was super squelchy, so I didn't want to just run in the grass. And yeah, it was just a bit dodgy, that section. So I popped onto the edge of the road. Like, I did all the right things, like sort of running into oncoming traffic so that, I can see the cars and make sure there's space and dodge them and that sort of thing. I was just hugging the curb as much as I could, and whenever there was not just puddles or mud along the side of the road, I would jump over to the side as the cars were coming, just to give myself as much space as I could. And then at one point, the road was starting to widen out. It was like getting into 2 lanes sort of thing. But I was still sort of right on the edge of the road. Some cars were coming towards me, and I was watching them very attentively, making sure, I'm not going to be in their way or anything like that, making sure they see me and that sort of thing. Next second, my right foot, the one closest to the curb, just hits air. Like, it just disappears into the ground, which is very strange as you're running along. It's not something you expect. It's sort of like that feeling of getting to the bottom of the steps and there's one extra step than you thought, and you just take that one step down. This is at night, by the way, so I couldn't really see that well. And you just plunge down a little bit and then you lose your balance. And yeah, imagine doing that while you're running at a fairly decent pace. And yeah, I just went sort of flying, I guess, forward, just toppled forward. No chance of recovery, just hit the deck, hit the ground, kind of rolled my hip, slammed into the curb, so I had a pretty bad bruise on my hip. And then I sort of splayed out across the road, and I quickly was tucking in my legs to make sure the cars aren't going to run over my feet. And fortunately that didn't happen. I sort of staggered off the edge of the road and into, there was a massive puddle right that I landed in as well, so face full of water and mud and whatever. So that was fun. Sort of got to the edge of the road, looked down at my legs, and saw that they were especially my left leg. So my right leg sort of disappeared into, I went back and checked actually, so there's a bit of footage of what I fell into during the day. It was a big drain. You can actually see the scrape marks of where my foot went into it. So my right leg is pretty okay. I think it hit the ground at some point, but it wasn't that bad. But my left leg just got super, it wasn't necessarily super bad, but it got decent gravel rash. And so, it was bleeding a fair bit. I had a lot of gravel even stuck in my knee. So, obviously called the run there, called for backup help, and my father-in-law came pick me up. And that was the end of my run. 12Ks done. I was disappointed, didn't get to do a long run again, leading up to the marathon. But it was, at least it wasn't worse. It could have been really bad. But it ended up just being sort of surface level injury on my knees. And I just sort of had it bandaged up the next couple of days. And by sort of 2 days later, I was feeling okay. I was getting a lot of my movement back. My range of motion was back. So I went and did a park run on Saturday, and that was fine. And so I was glad it didn't impact my running too much. It wasn't like I was out for a week waiting for it to recover. Just mainly, as you can see, there's just a lot of scabs and healing scars, I guess. And so ultimately I made a good recovery, so not feeling too bad about it, but it's just a bit of a pain and nuisance to fall like that. I've never actually gotten that sort of injury while I've been out running. Just minor Like I've had blood while I've been running, but not like a full-on fall and scrape up my legs. So yeah, oh well, it's part of running, I guess. An interesting part of running that I haven't really experienced before. But ultimately, not too bad. I was glad to be able to run again later in the week, and on Sunday actually I had a really good run. It was 15K run, and I decided to push it a bit, train some speed in a longer distance sort of run, and yeah, I did 3x5Ks, getting slightly faster each kilometer. I did 4:45, 4:35, and 4:25. I was feeling really good about it. And then another like strange occurrence is getting hit by a magpie. So I've been swooped by magpies plenty of times. This is the first time for this season, but I think this is the first time I've actually been fully hit by a magpie. It just came out of nowhere, smack on the back of the head. Drew blood as well. So second time, twice in 1 week, just getting blood in a run. So yeah, obviously that wasn't too bad. I even kept running after that. Only really, yeah, I kind of was touching my head, seeing blood on my head, but it was only like just slight drops of blood. It wasn't anything, no big deal. Just kind of funny, like all these things happening to me in this week. But yeah, anyway, hopefully next week less crazy things that happen, and I can just knuckle down and get some good distance in, good marathon training in, because it's only like a month away in the marathon. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be really fun. I don't think I'll be in like the best possible shape I could be, but I am pretty happy with my fitness at the moment, and so yeah, I'm just excited to do my first marathon. But anyway, cool to update you on all the crazy things that happened this week. But I'll see you next week, and hopefully it'll be a bit more normal and I can, yeah, just have a good week of running. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in my next one. See ya.